Hi everyone, how are you? I have a great video for you today. This time, what is it? I have a great video for you today. And that's really good because last video I didn't like because it was about Facebook marketing and like Facebook marketing is so dumb. Um, it's like not effective at all. I had to dress it up, I had to give like reasons why it was effective, but like and make it like encouraging, but it wasn't. But this one is going to be good. It's about how to promote a local service, and almost any local business is a local service. If you think about it, that your local dentist, your doctor, your the person who does your lawn care, uh, the handyman, the roofer, even surprisingly, restaurants and places like that also are marketed very the same similar ways to those businesses. And I'm going to explain, like, just give you the total rundown because on my mobile apps, I mean, it's like the entrepreneur apps that I created. I mean, most users are they have some sort of business like that or are planning to start one like that. And I get these questions all the time, like how do I promote my lawn care, my roofing, my restaurant, my gym, stuff like that, right? So I'm gonna give you like so much information. It's gonna be total overload right now. First, how do people find you, right? Uh, Back in the day, there used to be like phone books, really thick phone books. People would like list through it and find, oh, I need a mechanic, or I need this flower service, like I need to find flowers or anything, right? Locally, something locally. People would look in the phone book. Well, the phone book it was amazing because if you had the biggest ad in the phone book, then most people called you from the whole city for that kind of a business, right? So let's shift and figure out how you can replicate that phone book experience just using modern technology, right? So you want to be that thing that everybody finds, right? And what's really great about that phone book paradigm uh, is that people are searching for you, right? All you have to do is just make sure that they find you and not your competitive business, because they're already searching for it, right? It's not like you're out there with a sign saying, "Please use my service," right? That's terrible. I mean, you don't want to be doing that. I mean, you can be doing that, but it better not be your only hope. Um, Instead of you standing out with a sign, you're focusing on your business, and people just come in, right? So all you have to do is set up that funnel for them to come in, and I'll explain exactly how to do that. So let's start. Uh, First, you need a web presence, right? So basics. You need a web presence because people aren't looking in the phone book anymore. They're looking online, right? First, they'll ask their friends, maybe like, "Hey, do you know anyone?" Um, and that brings me to a point. Equally important are referrals, and I'll get into it. I, that's important. I wasn't going to forget, but so that's referrals. For now, we are doing online. Uh, so online, let's say people they ask, "Oh, do you know anyone?" And what is alarm here? Do you guys hear that? Anyway, um, so they ask their friend. Let's say the friend doesn't know. Nobody knows, right? What do people do? They search. They search online. They search on Google, right? So you need a website because your website. Let's say you are a cleaning company in Boston. You need to be ranking in Google in the top 10 for cleaning company in Boston, right? And there's actually you would think that your website is gotta be one of the top 10 listings for that sort of a term, but it doesn't end there, right? Because that's just your website. Do you remember those little Google Maps that appear in the first couple of listings sometimes? Like if you look for restaurants and they show you all the restaurants in your area or all the stores or all the like mechanics in your area, and they show the little like the red you're here kind of thing. Do you know? So to appear, so you should be also appearing in those listings with the map, because those listings always appear on the very top of the page. So it has a great click-through rate, and you want to be there. So that's called something like GooglePlaces or Google Local, and all you have to do is just make a listing there. You have to like literally Google for that, like GooglePlaces or Google Local or whatever it's called, and enter the address of your business. And whenever people will be searching in your radius, in that like in a few mile radius, um, your listing will actually come up in next to the map, right? So now you have not one listing in the top 10, but two. Let's not stop there. Okay. Usually, what the other things that are going to be listed in the top 10 of Google are the local service sites with business listings, right? So it's sites like Yelp or sites like RedBeacon or sites like AngiesList. They're all the same sites. They list local services, local businesses, right? And so you want to have accounts in all of those, right? So you want to be that listing in the Yelp listing in Google, right? Google will show the map, your website, and the Yelp. And the Yelp has to contain your listing. So now you have 3 listings in the top 10, right? And you can replicate it, because if it shows RedBeacon or AngiesList, why not have your listing there too, right? So you almost can have like half of those 10 things can be all pointing to you. And so what your job is to figure out how to rank in Google, and I have a separate video for that. It's not easy, but you gotta pick a semi-competitive niche, right? Something that has demand, but it's not totally competitive, and then you can do it. And there's a video for how to rank in Google that I have. I'm not gonna get into the details, but that's just part of it, right? The second part of it is, you need to have a listing on those sites like Yelp.com, RedBeacon, AngiesList, and by the way, I'm just naming them in various geographical areas. They're more or less strong, right? Different sites like that are more or less strong. So just type your search in Google and see which one of those come up in your area, and those are the ones you should focus on. But I would suggest focusing, and maybe different country, right? In a different country, you may have different sites like that for that. But just Google and see who the strong sites are, and make sure that you are appearing there as well. So usually, to be listed highly on those local service sites, you need to have good reviews, have a well-written description with your keywords in the title, all the basics. Nice pictures so that people click on your listing instead of the other listings, all that kind of stuff, right? And make sure you have good reviews, because reviews are so important, right? Because if people see that you have bad reviews, they will never go to your business, right? So there's only so much marketing you can do. If your service isn't that good, you're gonna get bad reviews. So you have to really make sure that your service is like really amazing, and I mean that. I mean, those customers have to love you, because if they don't, they're just gonna give you bad reviews, and nobody will come back. The next people will see that you have bad reviews, and they just won't come back. So it's just gonna kill you. So you gotta get the good reviews, and that's up to the quality of your service. That is not something that I can help with. That's something you gotta do. But I'm sort of giving the benefit of the doubt that you will get great reviews. So that's gotta be a given, but it's your responsibility. You gotta do it. If you have the good reviews, and you have those listings, right, done well in those sites like Yelp, RedBeacon, right, and you're on Google, then think about it. All that traffic, and you're on that little map, all that traffic is going to, you're going to get a big, huge chunk of that traffic. And that's not it. Now let's talk a little bit about paying for listings, right? So if you make money from your customers, right? If you are able to generate revenue, and some businesses, sometimes they lose money, like a restaurant, or they have a difficult profit margin. But let's say you're a doctor. I mean, you make a lot of money per patient, or something, whatever, something that actually makes money per patient, like lawn care or whatever. Not patient, customer. Then you can afford to pay a part of whatever that customer will bring you into getting that customer, right? So you can pay for marketing. It becomes very effective because if you can pay for the marketing and pay, it's called in Google it's called SEM, in Yelp it's called something like promoted listings. But the idea is that if you can't, even if you rank in the top 10, people aren't always going to click on your listing. So what the paid search does is it gives you another listing in the sponsored listings, and that's another place where you can appear, right? That's another way you can get clients. Let's see what's next. Next we should talk about referrals, right? So this is like you pretty much, if you do all this, you're doing really well on search, right? Like search is going to be your friend, and not just in Google, but search in the little map and the local service sites, right? Well, actually, before I get into referrals, we should talk a little bit about social media, because I bet you wanted to focus on social media first, right? And you should have a Facebook page and a Twitter page, and you should post, if you have a restaurant, you should post really beautiful photos of the food and make people like almost smell it, make people like want to eat it, right? And keep updating every day, but it's harder to get. And social media depends on the kind of businesses you have. If you have a restaurant, social media can do well, but if you have lawn care, it's not that social. It's a little bit of a boring thing. So social media is a case by case sort of a business. It can help you because usually people have their friends are local. So that means they could potentially be your customers, but you don't really know how well targeted that is. So it's kind of like, but you should certainly have very professional and polished social media accounts, at least on Facebook and Twitter, not with the intent of like getting clients from it, but that's where people will see you, and there's some off chance that your Twitter or Facebook page will actually rank in the top 10 or whatever, for various searches. So just have those. They're not going to get you a lot of clients. Don't kind of like build all these expectations from it, but they will get you a little bit, and it's a good way to keep in touch. Like if somebody came to your business and they used it, keep in touch. That's one way they can keep in touch, and keep tweeting or something, and then next time they need your service, you'll be on the forefront of their mind. So social media is good, but it isn't. Focus on the search first. Like the search platforms are like the little map, the Google, the Yelps, right? Because they all have search and people search in there. And when people search, it's great because they're coming to you at the time where they're ready to buy, right? And you're the product that they want. But if you're in social media, it's sort of the same as you're holding a sign. Hey, hello, this is me buying my service. But if you're leveraging search, then it's kind of like people are coming to you. You don't have to hold a sign, right? And it's much better. So first focus on search. Second, focus on social media. And somewhere in between, referrals are extremely important. Especially like doctors have this worked out extremely well, right? If you go to a foot doctor and he's like, oh, go to a different doctor. You need like maybe you need back help. That guy says go to a cardiologist. He recommends you a cardiologist. Whatever, they have all kinds of specialties, right? And they all recommend each other. And it's amazing because one doctor can cause like 2 other or 3 other doctors to also get a client, right? So that's kind of how you get referrals, right? So those are referrals, and whatever industry you are in, you can build a referral network like that. It works a little worse or better, and depends on the business you're in, but think like that, right? So it isn't referrals of friends. It's a professional referral network where like your colleagues or like your kind of people in your niche, people in your business space refer, right? And that can be done on a goodwill basis. Like if you're a doctor and another doctor, they refer each other. Or that can be done on a commission basis. So if you sign up the person, then the person who referred you gets a commission, and that's something you work out with that company. And then of course there's the customer referrals, right? So back to the example of like you first, if you need something, you ask your friend, and if they had a good experience, then they'll recommend you. Um, but they don't have that volume of distribution, right? It's just gonna be like, they'll recommend you once, twice, maybe 3 times, but you need some larger volume, some entities which have larger volume, like Google, like Yelp, or like other people in your profession, those professional referrals, because they deal with your potential clients themselves all the time, right? So they have a big volume of people. So that's it for now. What am I forgetting here? I bet I forgot something. Um, but that's sort of a lot, right? So those are like the two major avenues are the web and leveraging search and referrals. And there's two kinds of referrals. You can build a professional referral network, or if you're providing a good service, people will just naturally be recommending you. But that takes time. That sort of thing takes time, right? Like how many times do people ask you, do you have do you know a good dentist? Rarely, right? And then you recommend your dentist. Rarely. So think professional referral. Uh, you know, that kind of a thing can work really well, um, especially if you can partner with someone who already has a big volume of your potential customers. So that's been it. That's kind of how you promote a local service or local anything. Those are the core elements. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. Uh, I'm making a lot of these kinds of videos, and that way you'll never have to miss any tips or suggestions or any ways to promote your business. And I make videos about like business ideas, business planning, marketing, fundraising, all kinds of issues associated with starting a business. So yeah, please subscribe, and also please feel welcome to check out my mobile apps that I make, right? Because this video is kind of part of the apps. And the apps are available on iOS, Android, Kindle, and they're the Problemio apps. You can check them out on problemio.com, and they cover a whole bunch of these topics. And so yeah, please check them out. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.